We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. The Supreme Court rejects Kim Davids's appeal, affirming her liability and solidifying marriage equality against faith-based public office refusals.
Journalist Evan Hurst reveals 188 Christian and Republican figures accused of child abuse, exposing hypocrisy in conservative so-called groomer rhetoric.
Trump's pardon of Capitol rioter Andrew Tate lets a confessed child sex offender avoid further prison, sparking ethical and legal concerns.
California Supreme Court affirms LGBTQ+ care rights. Ruling law ensures respect for gender identity and pronouns and does not violate free speech.
The IOC plans a global ban on transgender women in women's sports before the 2028 Olympics, sparking a major inclusion debate. All this important LGBTQ+ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, November 11th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out television network is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out television network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. He is an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. And in breaking news, Sunshine Cathedral announced this week a historic cruise and tour of the Gulf of Arabia in 2027 as a charity event. Durrell, tell us, what's happening out?
Everyone at Sunshine Cathedral is so excited to really do something that's really never been done before. In partnership with Hotspots Happening Out's nonprofit travel club, we have provided unique experiences for the South Florida LGBTQ community to Italy, to Greece, Turkey, and Egypt, to Oktoberfest in Munich, and just last month to Peru and Machu Picchu. But now we are going to do something our community has never done before, and we call it Arabian Nights. But on February 22nd, 2027, the most important and history-making experience ever is coming. Sunshine Cathedral is going to live our mission with Arabian Nights. a cruise tour that explores the Gulf of Arabia. The 14-day trip will enjoy 3 nights in the world's most amazing city of the 21st century, Dubai. You enjoy a 7-night cruise on the Gulf of Arabia on the beautiful Celestial Discovery. Highlights including the Wildlife National Park for a safari at Sirbani Yas Island, explore the mystery of Doha in Qatar, experience the alpine-like mountains of Ras Al Khaimah in the UAE, sail the fjords of Kasab, Oman, then enjoy 2 nights in the United Arab Emirates' capital city of Abu Dhabi. The Bedouins, the deserts, the tallest buildings and most modern architecture in the world await. You can fly on the world's best airline nonstop from Miami to Dubai. Fly Emirates Air. Hosted by Sunshine Cathedral's Bishop Durrell Watkins and Bishop Robert Griffin, this amazing adventure is 14 days from just $1,299, and that includes all government taxes and fees. The cruise line confirms you for just $1. You heard that right. Make your reservations for just $1. And it's affordable for all with an interest-free payment plan of just $99 a month. Join Sunshine Cathedral for a world's first. The magic of the Arabian Nights awaits you. I can't wait. It's a whole year and some change away, but I'm already ready for it. I'm already signed up for it, by the way. They're not leaving the bishop behind. So you'll want to get in on this. And a lot of people already showed interest. The travel club, the Having Out Travel Club, has really made some things possible for us that I wouldn't have ever dreamed of before. I have preached in cathedrals in Germany and Austria. I have celebrated Holy Communion in the catacombs of Rome. I've been to places. I've had a lifelong dream of going to Liechtenstein. I went. They made that possible. Tiniest little country. And so so this is just another thing. I would have never even thought that I would wind up in Qatar. And I know I can't wait to go. We always find sacred spots. We always talk about whatever's going on. We meet great people. And they just really make it all possible. So you probably won't ever get this opportunity at this price ever again. Don't miss out.
Sounds amazing.
I love that this trip, especially for LGBTQ people, is going to a part of the world that many of our community don't feel safe going, maybe individually or on their own. And I think going with the travel club is a great way to see this part of the world, because as we know, there's a lot of places that we want to see, no matter whether they quote unquote like us or not. There's a lot of history and things that we deserve to be able to see. So that's what I think is the most special about putting those kind of trips together.
I have some friends that went to the Machu Picchu trip, and they said it was amazing. The accommodations were great, the food was great, the tours were wonderful. So yeah, highly recommended.
Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Welcome, Gregg.
Golly gosh, gee whiz, I sure am darn happy to be here with you guys.
I see you're in your fall attire.
Oh my God, it is
here
so
in
cold
South Florida.
outside. I am a Chicago native, but this is unacceptable. Bring me back to warm.
Well, hopefully we can keep you warm while you're here tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Let's welcome anchor Franchesca D'Amore. She is an advocate and holistic life coach. She is the founder of TransEd and an executive committee member of the Broward Regional HIV Planning Council. Franchesca, the Transinclusive group is to host events honoring trans lives on November 13th and November 20th. Tell me, what's happening out?
Well, hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. 4 handsome men, all to myself. This November, Transinclusive Group will celebrate Trans Awareness Month with 2 major events across South Florida. On November 13th, that's this week, the 11th annual Bishop S.F. Makalani Mahi Transgender Equality Awards will take place at the Center for Spiritual Living, Oakland Park, recognizing advocates and organizations championing transgender rights. Later, on November 20th, 2025, the Transgender Day of Remembrance will be observed at the Pride Center at Equality Park in Wilton Manors, honoring the lives lost to anti-transgender violence. Founded in 2017, Transinclusive Group will continue to amplify trans voices, promote healing, and strengthen community ties throughout the month. More details about this event will be available at transinclusivegroup.org. Transinclusive.org. So this is an important month in the LGBTQ community and the trans community for visibility and for awareness. And we celebrate as well as remember our trans siblings. Trans Social had an event at the beginning of the month, which was really beautiful. And there are a lot of other organizations that are partnering up in this these next few events with Transinclusive. We have Ariana Center, we have Trans Social, we have Trans Ed, we have the Mackenzie Project, and a lot of great sponsors. So I think at this juncture in time in the United States and in the state of Florida, I really think it's important for all of us to come together, and the trans community really needs your support. So please be there.
Yeah, you're definitely doing the work of angels right now. And you shouldn't have to work so hard, you know what I mean? Just to be safe and seen and not dehumanized. But that is the reality right now. And so I applaud your courage and your determination, and I'm happy to be a trans ally.
Yeah, last year at the Pride Center for the Transgender Day of Remembrance, it was, first of all, very moving. The production and the stories were just really, I think, inspired everyone that was there. I will say to our community that's watching is there were not enough people there. There were not enough allies for the trans community. Again, on a random Thursday night, I probably could have walked a few blocks down the block to Wilton Drive, to all of the bars that were probably filled with people on the Transgender Day of Remembrance. And so I encourage everyone, come out and support your trans brothers and sisters. They need you more than ever, and our visibility and numbers matter. So come out and do that. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Transinclusive Group's events honoring trans lives on November 13th and 20th. Let's welcome anchor Daniel Malloy. Daniel Malloy is the new Chief Programs Officer at Pridelines, overseeing organizational development, program strategy, and community impact initiatives. As an executive of one of the 5 beneficiary agencies of the Joyride, the country's second largest HIV and AIDS charity bicycle ride, Daniel is joining us tonight as a Fab Adventures Joyride board member. Daniel, the second annual Joyride is happening this November 21st and 22nd from Orlando to St. Petersburg, Florida. Tell me, what's happening out?
Florida will soon witness the Joyride 2025, a 2-day, 165-mile cycling journey from Orlando to St. Petersburg, taking place on November 21st through the 22nd, 2025. This fully supported ride will bring together cyclists, crew members from across the state to raise funds for 5 Florida-based nonprofits: Broward House, Compass, Epic, Miracle of Love, and Pridelines. Participants will cycle through scenic routes, enjoy organized pit stops, and rest overnight at a designated hotel, while logistics, meals, and first aid will be fully managed. Each cyclist will raise a minimum of $1,200, with 100% of proceeds directly benefiting the partner agencies. The Joyride will support housing, healthcare, LGBTQ+ services, mental health initiatives, and HIV prevention and care. Visit the joyrideflorida.org for registration and event details.
Exciting news.
Yes.
This is a new venue for the ride.
Yep. Orlando to St. Pete, no longer Miami to Key West. It's new for myself personally. Venturing across Alligator Alley. No, just kidding. We're farther north than that. But yes, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Excellent.
And I know that obviously Pridelines is looking to raise as much money as possible. So how can people that are watching support Pridelines? Where should they go to donate to the Joyride?
Yeah, so if you want to contribute to Prideline's participation on the Joyride, go to www.pridelines.org.
Sounds good. Well, please go out and support. I know Pridelines could certainly use the support, and it's an amazing event. And as you said, 100% of the proceeds go to the organizations. Which can't be better than that.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Jeff Oliverio. Jeff Oliverio is the founder and president of the Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council and serves as co-chair for the upcoming 5th annual My Hollywood Pride, which returns in January 2026. He also serves on the SAVE Gala Committee. Jeff is a director and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth based in Fort Lauderdale. Welcome, Jeff.
I'm happy to be here tonight on this chilly November evening here in South Florida. And as the calendar does turn to the fall and to the winter, we are really excited and gearing up for the 5th annual My Hollywood Pride, which will be January 24th, 2026. Sponsorships and vendor and exhibitor registration is open on our website, so please check it out there. And for those here local, My Hollywood Pride and the Hollywood LGBTQ Plus Council will be joining the City of Hollywood at the Hollywood Centennial Celebration on November 22nd at the Arts Park in downtown Hollywood, which will be the venue for My Hollywood Pride. So if you would like to come out and support our LGBTQ community as part of the Centennial Celebration, join us there and get to see Kool and the Gang will be performing.
Oh,
Centennial
really?
Celebration. So, I mean, what could be more exciting than that? And celebrating one of South Florida's oldest cities, celebrating their 100th birthday. So we're excited about that.
And hopefully they'll sing Celebrate.
I used to love Kool and the Gang.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years ago.
Joanna.
I loved it. So Joanna, yes.
You can't go wrong with Kool and the Gang, right?
Exactly.
And My Hollywood Pride is such an amazing pride. You know, it's actually one of my favorite prides to go to. And last year, Trans Ed, we actually were a vendor there, and we got so much great feedback.
Nice.
So become a vendor. It's a really great pride.
Yeah, and we're excited to be on a Saturday now and in the park, and I think it'll be a nice venue for everyone. It'll be even feel like more of our own community, kind of in our own little venue there. So we're really excited about it. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up the USA view. Supreme Court denies Kim Davis appeal, leaving marriage equality intact. In a quiet but decisive move, the U.S. Supreme Court announced Monday it will not hear the appeal of former Kentucky clerk Kim Davis, the county official who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the landmark 2015 ruling in Obergefell v. Hodges. The justices wrote, quote, "The petition for a writ of certiorari is denied," end quote, leaving intact lower court rulings that found Davis personally liable for violating the constitutional rights of the couples she refused to serve. The decision effectively closes a decade-long legal chapter over religious exemptions in public office, keeping marriage equality firmly in place. Davis, who became a conservative cause celebrity after her 2015 defiance, had asked the High Court not only to revisit her liability, but to reconsider Obergefell itself. However, now, over 10 years after Obergefell v. Hodges established marriage equality nationwide, the man behind the landmark case is celebrating another victory. For Jim Obergefell, the justice's silence spoke volumes. He said, quote, "The court did the right thing in denying cert, and people across our nation can breathe a little easier today. Kim Davis should have lived up to her oath and duties as a public servant by serving everyone in Rowan County, Kentucky. Instead, she chose to use her faith to persecute others. I hope the Supreme Court halts further attempts by public officials to use their personal faith to deny others their civil rights and human rights," end quote. Unfortunately, I think that's a wish of the Supreme Court that might be above their pay grade. According to previous cases, although this is a victory of sorts, meaning we haven't gone backwards, I don't think it's a victory in progress. However, you know, I know a lot of people in our community, friends, you know, I'll include myself in there. My partner and I are not legally married, and everyone was clamoring around us, "You better go get married," and, you know, and all of that, before we lose it. But I was pretty confident that the Supreme Court would have made this decision. Again, it's mostly based on, a lot of, financial issues that would have needed to be unraveled and are very, very complicated. So I'm happy that the decision was made, but it doesn't leave us feeling very good about the state of the LGBTQ community in general.
Right. And you shouldn't, one of the great, we have so many great things, but one of the great things about being gay is that you never have to have a shotgun wedding. And now you sort of almost, you were saying, you better do it before the baby comes or before they take the right away. Like, so yeah, it was, so that's unfortunate. But did you notice, this is just a fun little side fact, that she stood 5'4", but 2 inches of that was hair? That you said there were two, like Marcus, 5'2" and 5'4", and that lovely hair is probably how she got 4 husbands of her own. Right. So that's what really annoys me. Is that she can get married every third Thursday to a new person, but we have to fight just to be able, so whatever. and I'm also tired, because I wear this for a living. I'm tired of all the evil in the world being blamed on church. Just be evil. You don't need a Bible verse. You don't need a hierarchy. You don't need a creed. Just be evil. You don't need, just own it. Just be it. And make my life a little easier, huh?
Poor, pitiful Kim, the anti-gay divorcee in her urine-soaked denim jumper and rat's nest of unwashed hair. She'll probably have to sell off her entire Beanie Baby collection just to raise a few ducats to begin paying her outstanding legal debts.
Which is a lot of money.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
Yeah, she owes some coin. Well, let's hope that Kim Davis ends up in the dustbin of bigots of the past, and we don't have to hear her name uttered anymore in the future.
Please. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up the USA View. Journalist exposes 188 Christian and Republican leaders accused of child abuse in 2025. A shocking new report highlights the growing hypocrisy within conservative circles that accuse LGBTQ plus people of, quote, grooming, end quote, children. Journalist Evan Hurst, managing editor of the progressive outlet Wonkette, has tracked 188 Christian and Republican leaders accused, sued, or convicted of child abuse and exploitation this year alone. Hurst says, quote, if MAGA is so upset about Epstein, they should hear about Baptist, end quote. His database links to dozens of local news reports detailing abuse cases tied to churches and GOP figures. Hurst's latest update, posted on Halloween, added 49 new names to the list, underscoring how frequently these scandals emerge. According to Hurst, the pace of abuse revelations is overwhelming. Quote, conservative Christian leaders are such prolific groomers and abusers of kids. If you let it go any more than a month, then it will take you hours and hours and hours and days and weeks to compile an update, end quote. He also mocked right-wing outrage against queer communities, writing, quote, if you are tracking drag queens or trans people, you can take sabbaticals to Europe as often as you fucking want, because those stories just don't happen much, end quote. At the end, he asked, quote, is it anti-Christian extremism to tell the truth about who is really sexually abusing children in this country, end quote? No, it is not extremism. It is due diligence. It would be malpractice to not name those kinds of things. Most of us of a certain age lived our lives with the fear of that accusation. I have nieces and nephews. I even have a kid now. He's grown now, but I love children. I've always loved children, and that you have to be. That you're afraid to love children like normal, healthy adults do, like your nieces and your grandchildren or whatever, that you're almost afraid of that, and because of their accusation. Meanwhile, with that lot, every accusation is a confession.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. In my opinion, proselytizing and evangelizing are just forms of grooming. Come join, as opposed to queer people. It's not a club you can join.
Most of you we don't want. Stay over there.
But it also explains why those leaders are often so good at it, because they're constantly evangelizing and proselytizing so it just seems like a natural extension of that. That's just in my opinion.
But what they don't just use like, oh, this is so fun, come try this. They use threats. If you don't do this, then there's this whole other world that we can't prove exists, but you're going there and it's going to be really bad. But if you share our opinion or join our group or whatever, then you're in. So, especially if they can get you young enough, which is what grooming is, if they can implant that paranoid and pathological idea into your head, it will take you the rest of your life of therapy to get it out. So not only are they grooming, but they are using psychological violence to do it.
It's a classic case of, hey, look over there while my hand's in the cookie jar.
Exactly.
Right?
100, yeah. History
Repeating itself, right?
Yeah, the ladies doth protest too much is really the story here. But it's frightening that, as you said, our community has that label, and also I think it sends a message to our young people that are LGBTQ, that, you know, they're seeing like, who can they trust with their relationships? You know, I know there was a story once about, you know, in the Catholic Church, that a lot of, you know, younger people that went to become altar boys and things of that nature, they did it because they thought, if I go to church, they knew in their head that they were queer, and that they thought the church could maybe cure them, and then they put themselves in the lion's den
with being abused.
And being abused. And I can imagine that only happens across the nation in churches, where people, you know, your families who are very religious saying, you know, God will be able to solve this problem for you, and you go to seek the counsel of a religious leader who then abuses you.
Instead of having a healthy, happy sexual experience like you're meant to have, you have this traumatizing experience just because you couldn't be honest, and they wouldn't accept you, and it's a cycle of violence, really.
Yeah.
I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up politics. Trump pardon lets confessed child sex offender avoid prison time. A pardon issued by President Donald Trump has allowed a confessed child sex offender to avoid additional prison time, a move legal experts are calling ethically problematic. Andrew Tate, 37, pleaded guilty in September to arranging a sexual encounter with someone he believed was a 15-year-old girl in 2016. But he won't serve more prison time for that crime because of the time he already spent behind bars for attacking police during the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riot, time that no longer counts as punishment since Trump's sweeping pardon declared him innocent of any wrongdoing in that case. Without the pardon, Tate would have served a 6-year sentence for the riot before facing new time for the sex crime. Instead, his previous innocent time behind bars was credited toward his child exploitation charge. Federal prosecutors said Tate used bear spray and a metal whip to assault Capitol officers, later bragging about it to a woman he met on the dating app Bumble. That woman reported him to authorities, leading to his arrest and 2023 conviction. Trump has described the January 6th rioters he pardoned as true patriots. Okay, so imagine that. A straight white pedo pardoning another straight white pedo. Isn't that great? Disgusting, but far from surprising.
Right. It's part, because this is part of the, I hate to say fascist, but I also hate to say cold, but it is cold, and fascists are what they are. So this power dynamic of the holders of power coming after the marginalized while pardoning themselves of the most egregious offenses against humanity. This is part of that power structure where the Epstein class, as it were, gets to keep power at the expense of of all other people who are just wanting equal opportunity, equal protection, and that sort of thing. So yeah, his people can attack the U.S. government and get a sweeping pardon, and that he is an adjudicated rapist. And a 34-time felon, and so of course that he just is throwing out pardons left and right to people like him. This is a humiliating moment in the history of our country. In a long history of many humiliating moments, this is right up there. And so it does make our idea or our trust in justice sort of a joke, and I think it portends the fall of empire. The Lord haste the day.
I hope that someday they do like a wall of shame of the people that have been pardoned, because this story is not unlike several other people that have been pardoned that also have committed other crimes, and this is just as nauseating and disgusting as many of the other ones. And then the second thing is the idea that we're, again, pardoning people that have previous crimes and counting that towards the time served is, I mean, again, I always say, let's just rewind the clock and go back like 20 years and be like, Obama has now pardoned someone who is a pedophile who attacked police.
Yeah. Just one time.
Just one time.
It would have ended his...
It would have ended his entire career. And there is a long list of these people that he's pardoning that have committed all kinds of crimes outside of the Capitol riots.
Right. Before and since, some of them.
And since, yes.
I'm Franchesca D'Amore, and let's queer up the USA view. California Supreme Court upholds LGBTQ plus protections for elders in long-term care. California Supreme Court has upheld key protections for the LGBTQ residents in long-term care facilities, reversing a lower court ruling that had weakened the state's 2017 LGBT long-term care residence Bill of Rights. The law, authored by State Senator Scott Wiener and signed in 2017, ensures that transgender residents are housed according to their gender identity and that staff use their correct names and pronouns. A conservative group called Taking Offense had challenged these provisions, claiming they violated employees' free speech rights. But in a unanimous decision, the state's highest court disagreed. The justices ruled the law regulates discriminatory conduct, not protected speech, and is therefore constitutional. California Attorney General Rob Bonta praised the ruling, saying, quote, "All individuals deserve to live free from harmful, disrespectful rhetoric that attacks their sense of self, especially when receiving care necessary for their continued well-being," end quote. This decision cements California's commitment to protecting LGBTQ plus elders' dignity and safety in care settings. So I think in general, health care for anybody who's an older adult is pretty awful, right? And there's discrimination of all sorts, but in the LGBTQ community, you've got that extra layer of discrimination. Then if you're trans, there's a whole another extra layer. I myself have experienced it several times. And I think as we are stepping into 55 plus, or I don't know if it's 50 or 55 now, that's considered, elder or elderly or older.
Eligible for AARP.
There we go.
That was a minute ago.
Boy, yeah, something like that. It's we need more protections than ever, and within our own community. And kudos to California for doing what they're doing.
Thank God for California.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be a model for other states to follow, or perhaps, there'll be leaders in different communities that will create that model.
Sure.
And I know there are some organizations that are doing that, where it's within the organization to make sure that LGBTQ individuals are protected the way we should be protected, right? And treated the way we should be treated.
I used to say when I was coming, I would come home, I'm not safe out there. I have to hide, or I have to fight, or I have to, whatever, I have to lie, whatever I have to do to be safe out there. And then I come home where I still don't feel safe, right? That's a unique challenge for our community. If I was the only Chinese kid in the neighborhood, I could still come home to my Chinese family and be nurtured and protected and feel safe, at least for that time. I didn't have a gay family. My son did, but we didn't have a gay family. So I was really grown before I had any sense of safety or security in the world. And that's just with the gay piece. Now, not only is there trans prejudice, but there's so much trans ignorance. You might not get proper care if they wanted to, just because they haven't bothered to know anything. So, and then add to the elderly vulnerability or whatever. So this is the one thing you should be able to be safe from. I should have been safe in my home, but you're not. You should be safe from your government. The one thing you shouldn't have to need protection from is the person who's supposed to be providing protection. So thank God for California showing the better way, the moral way, the humanistic way. And I do hope that catches on. And to think that people could be in their final years suffering in addition to ailments and isolation, but also humiliation. That is heartbreaking. So yes, thank God for California. Please be 49 more of those.
Well, as an elder, I do want to add my voice to the thank yous to California. And it makes me sad to think that these kinds of protections might never be offered here in Florida with a large LGBTQ elder population. And I just hope that they will, that someone eventually will be leading the state and they will take care of us.
Yeah, I think we've even done the story here about elder LGBT people having to go back into the closet, as they have to enter a nursing home or other facility where they don't feel comfortable with the staff. And to imagine that we would steal someone's dignity in their most vulnerable point of their life, that we would take it to court, is just another example of the sheer cruelty of the other side, of people just living their life and trying to live and eventually die with dignity. Yeah, it's
not a lot to ask.
It's very sad. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up sports. IOC expected to ban trans women athletes ahead of the 2028 LA Olympics. The International Olympic Committee is expected to impose a sweeping ban on transgender women competing in women's sports before the 2028 Los Angeles Summer Games. Multiple sources told The Guardian the policy could take effect within the next year, aligning with President Donald Trump's demand to ban all trans athletes from Olympic competition. Trump, who appointed himself chair of the White House task force on the 2028 Olympics, declared, quote, "The United States will not let men steal trophies from women at the 2028 Olympics," end quote. The likely ban follows IOC President Kirsty Coventry's campaign promise and mirrors restrictions already adopted by many global sports bodies. Trans civil rights lawyer Alejandra Carballo warned, quote, "What an IOC gender testing policy will do is wreak havoc on intersex women. They will be disqualified and have their entire lives upended. Since the Olympics are being held in LA, this policy would violate state civil rights law, and I hope trans and intersex athletes challenge such a policy," end quote. If adopted, the policy could reshape the global debate over inclusion in sports. Just to point out the obvious, the first part of the story is that President Trump, they don't give out trophies at the Olympics, they give out medals, but just want to point that out because maybe he hasn't been paying attention because surely he could never have been in the Olympics competing against men or women or any other version of humans that might compete in a sport. You know, it's interesting, the Olympics are going to be coming right into the headlines of an election year again. So you can imagine this is going to be such a touch point. And again, if Gavin Newsom is potentially going to be on the ballot or running for office and the Olympics are going to be in California, I can only see this amping up more and more. And I do hope that they challenge it because of, again, where the Olympics are held, and wondering, you know, what the outcome is going to be because, you know, having the Olympics in our most liberal state in the country, may provide some protections.
I hope so. It's funny to me that he says that he's not going to let people steal these non-existent trophies. Do you remember when he literally in Europe stole somebody's medal? Like he's just going down the line shaking hands and just took some dude's medal and it's mine now. Like people were aghast. They couldn't believe it. We're not going to let him steal the prize. He has literally stolen somebody's prize. So every accusation is a confession, I'm telling you. And then the other thing, it sends me into a blind rage when he and his cohort misgender people. I can't stand it. That, of course, you don't have to worry about letting men steal anything. First of all, people are competing and winning. And second of all, they're all women. They're all women. You don't get to decide they're not. So anyway, this is only bigotry. This has nothing to do with sportsmanship or athletics, or this is 100% bigotry.
And he only appointed himself to be head because the Heritage Foundation whores told him to do that. He doesn't make decisions on his own. He's unable to decide whether to stay awake during meetings. So he doesn't make those kinds of decisions. This is Russell Vought. This is Kevin Roberts. This is all that Heritage Foundation trash.
I think it's kind of crazy that there are an estimated 10,000 athletes that are going to be competing in the summer Olympics. So say 1% of them are trans, which that's a really high.
That'd be high.
It's like what, 100? I mean, it's just so crazy.
Is there any chance 100 trans people are in the even compete?
And not all trans athletes win. A lot of us don't. I mean, if I decided to like be in a sport, I would be at the back of the line. I'd be huffing and puffing and forget about it. So we're not a threat, you know.
And physicians, I mean, endocrinologists, they all say, by the time they're there, there's no advantage. There's no, because they've left, there's no advantage.
There isn't.
It's a non-story. LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up politics. DeSantis says the blue wave is because all the Republican voters moved to Florida. Anti-LGBTQ plus Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says Republicans are losing elections because they've all moved to his state. Appearing on Fox News with Sean Hannity, DeSantis said a mass migration of conservatives from blue states to red ones has left places like New York and New Jersey more liberal. He claimed New Jersey GOP candidate Jack Ciattarelli would have won if those Republicans had stayed put. Democrats, meanwhile, swept races nationwide in what experts call a resounding rejection of the Trump administration, winning governorships, mayoral races, and historic ballot measures across the country. It's kind of, I think, it's pure poetry for DeSantis to see the wave starting to go the other way now that he's going to try to run most likely for president again. And you know, the races in again, this is 12 months ago. 12 months ago, they voted for Trump. In New Jersey, it was only a 6-point win for Trump, or it was a 6-point win for Trump over Kamala Harris. And I believe she doubled the margin of victory. So it would be a whole lot of people that would have to move. And if you look at the actual statistics, Governor DeSantis, which I'm sure you didn't, most of those voters that moved from one side to the other were independent voters. So it is not Republican voters that have left your state. It's a huge migration of independent voters.
Well, every time Governor Distractus opens his mouth, stupid falls out. Honey, when we call for toilet paper, you come rolling in. Until that time, shut up.
And I don't let them duke it out where all the hate should find their pockets. You know, I don't, if it's here, if it's there, there's too many of them anyway. So until people get healed and decide to become people, let them live wherever they want to live. LGBTQ 1-minute news. Let's queer up the USA View. Christian conservative uses Bible verse to attack gay teacher at school board meeting. A Florida conservative activist erupted at a Duval County school board meeting after a teacher mentioned his husband baked brownies for his class. Wearing an American flag vest, Margie Masudi asked, quote, "What public school have hired that man to come and teach that to those innocent children?" End quote. Then she read Matthew 18, verse 6, that's a scripture in the Bible, about drowning offenders before time ran out. Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay law doesn't bar teachers from mentioning same-sex spouses, but it's been used to target LGBTQ plus educators. The moment underscored how queer teachers remain under attack for simply existing openly in classrooms. He wasn't teaching anything, he was living. He was living out loud. He just wasn't hiding anything, and that's what, you know, not teaching anything, he's just not ashamed, he's just not hiding. Now, if we want to talk about some of his grooming choices, you know, maybe there should be some shame involved. But that he's a married person and he lives out loud, you know what I mean? Like, get over it. And this is what I hate. Matthew 18:6. About if something about you offends you, fix it. It has nothing to do with doing shit to other people. So it's not offenders. If your right eye offends you, pluck it out, it says. If your right hand offends you, cut it off. It has nothing to do with tormenting other people. I hate people like that. So the weaponized Bible verses, and they don't even know what they're saying. They don't know what they're talking about. So screw you, Starvest.
I think she's the only person to be rejected by moms for lobotomies because she's even too wacko for them.
Well, we can have some solaces with that. In last week's election, I believe every single Moms of Liberty school board candidate lost. Every single one. So take your American flag vest, go back to your recliner and shut up.
LGBTQ 1-minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Lush invites fans to shower with Jonathan Bailey in Wicked for Good collaboration. Lush is bringing a little Oz to your bathroom with its new Wicked for Good by Lush collection, launching November 21st alongside the film's release. The 10-piece line celebrates transformation, empowerment, and queer joy with products such as Glinda's Wedding Dress Bath Bomb and Alphaba's Lair Body Scrub. That's gonna hurt. The standout, the Scarecrow Scrub, inspired by Jonathan Bailey's Prince Fiero. Lush's cheeky description says, quote, "You don't need a brain to figure out that our body scrub will lead you to the dreamiest skin this side of Oz," end quote. True to form, Lush continues supporting LGBTQ+ and trans rights worldwide. Well, I know what I'm getting my wicked obsessed husband Rick for Christmas now. Can't wait to wrap it up.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it because, yeah, it's pretty, whatever. It probably smells good. But you use it twice, and suddenly Jonathan looks like Donald Trump. So, no, I'm not falling for it.
Well, Lush is a great organization that supports our community.
Okay.
However, how cheeky and maybe ill-advised some of the descriptions are for the products. We love you, Lush, so keep doing what you're doing.
Let's queer up gay culture. Ken Burns, the American Revolution, accused of erasing and defaming gay hero. A new controversy is brewing around Ken Burns' PBS documentary, The American Revolution. LGBTQ advocates say the film both omits and defames queer people, especially Revolutionary War General Baron von Steuben. Burns' only reference to von Steuben's sexuality is the line, quote, "He took familiarities with boys," end quote, suggesting homosexual pedophilia. Philadelphia Gay News founder Mark Siegel says, quote, "They risk erasing the fact that a gay man played a significant and indispensable role in founding this nation," end quote. Historians, however, dispute that claim, calling it an unfounded rumor. This happens in so many minority demographics, right? And it's just it's a shame because so many different minority groups just really have contributed to the wealth of America, to the beauty of America,
Tapestry,
to the
certainly.
differences in America, and to be attacked and
And for such a vague description, first of all, this is a time in the world where 12-year-old girls were getting married and having children. So, first of all, let's scale down what we can't judge 1700s to the 2000s because just your concept of adulthood and maturity was different. Yes, today that would be no good. Then when you died at 30, you better get started as young as you can, right? So it's just a different context entirely. Second of all, some people call all males boys. I mean, they could have been 20. And third of all, shut up. This erasure plan, it's just widespread. It's for all groups that aren't wealthy, straight, white, cis men. And just this erasure, and if you do mention it in a negative context. It's tired, it's old, quit it.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Partwise helps LGBTQ plus couples navigate divorce with clarity and care. Finding the one can be life-changing, but so can deciding to part ways. In 2024, with U.S. divorce rates nearing 50%, attorney Kimberly Miller founded Partwise, a subscription-based platform helping couples of all kinds better understand the legal side of separation. Miller, who's guided many LGBTQ plus clients, notes challenges unique to same-sex couples married before 2015, when equality became law. Still, she emphasizes healing, saying, quote, "It takes time. Divorce is an emotional journey, but people can get there, and they do all the time." Listen, I'm happy to say there's an app for that.
There is one.
You can find love on apps, and you can also get divorced on them. Welcome to 2025.
Has anyone shared this with a certain politician we know?
Oh.
Sorry.
It's not, well, we have totally open borders and abortion on demand. So of course we can have, divorce at a punch. I'm just tired of all of it. If you're unhappy, get divorced, whatever. But it's not, it's a sad story to me, because I want everybody to have a happy ending and maybe also a successful relationship. But I just want everyone to live well and happily. And so when it doesn't work out the way you want it, that's always sad to me. But if you can do it amicably and, try again, that's good too.
Don't you want to sign up for your Venmo alimony payment? I think that'd be great.
sounds great.
Right?
Yeah. Cash App's better.
Cash App.
Right.
That's the Cash App.
Cash App me, sweetie.
Cash App divorce.
Yes. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Jeff Oliverio, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, Bishop Durrell Watkins, Gregg Shapiro, and Franchesca D'Amore. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. Into our LGBTQ world, we wish you a good night.